Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Dang. Well, doesn't that not be cool? It's the second time I've had to do this, and it's okay. I'll get it right eventually. It's a big microphone for a big person. No, I want to take the time to address something that happened to me earlier, and it was an individual. Sorry, I think my camera is dirty. It's my fluorescent light. An individual that I gave a question to see if she would ask more into detail, or would she be quick to judge? And she was quick to judge, as all should be. But you should still ask why, or ask a simple question. One of the reasons that we speak in third party, in fourth party, we break fourth wall, we speak to our subconscious, it's because we know that it is God. And it's something that has been taught from father to son since the twin brothers. And the story is real. Realer than you can believe. What's crazy to me is that all the light work you do, you don't see what is hidden in my name, because you have been bamboozled by a man from overseas that is making claims to have in his possession these items. Well, these items are of an old world, an old time of slavery, and this is a new. Because my name is James K.Urias, 555 15, the one five-lettered name that means most of all. No matter if you spell it with a Y, an H, a J, an L, a U, or a G. To understand the things that I am capable of comprehending, you must sit down and have a talk with me. See, where others did not teach you, they just made claims. What did he do when he came? He taught, and others wrote. I teach the same way it has been taught to me. The true name of the house of the Father is Urias. Uri as my son. Don't gaslight me because of what your past and you have gone through. You cannot look forward to a brighter future if we dwell on the past. But if the truth is not addressed from the past, we will constantly live in a confused direction into the future. I know the words. The key Joseph Gregory Hallett possesses is not the key. Everything's a key. The keys of life and death are the flipping and the flopping and the switching of the letters E, A, W, V, M, Z, N, and more. I see the lines that were left for me by my pop. whether you want to believe or not. For example, the Constitution and the 12 candles that have proved that are there, and that document is proof of his existence because he comes through our subconscious in our writing. For a long time, writing numbers were forbidden because it was a way to enslave if not taught correctly. And look at where we are these days. Everyone gets a participation trophy without having to learn the lessons of life. How to work hard to succeed. How to fail and keep trying. You should never judge a book by its cover unless it's a book saying that it has contained God into one book. Because what everybody else has failed to realize is God gave man all words. So y'all are looking for God in the wrong book. And my father's in the dictionary because a true father teaches their child the words and the definitions. That way no one can take advantage of them. John chapter 4 verse 17 states that if you know of righteousness and do not stand for right, and you do nothing, then you have committed sin. I walk with God because I know where I'm at and how the bloodline left because there is twins. One had to be there, one had to be here, as above, so below. Dark Egypt, light Egypt. Jerusalem, New Jerusalem. The power of 369. 9 letters in the word Jerusalem. Verse 3, J-E-R. Jesus is heir. U-S-A. L-E-M. The limb. I see shorthand abbreviation. I see the original alphabet. Single letter words. Leviticus, leave, light, I-C-U-S. Great is us. Us? No, it is the U.S. This was God's holy land, and he is still here, buried here. There's one place in the United States that's surrounded by 6 borders. I make a 6-point Star of David, which is the Leonardo da Vinci symbol for the Holy Grail. Me. I asked you that question as a parable, as a way to show you what you did to me and categorize me as a weak individual when I am strong. I have love, compassion, understanding, truth through the lives. Joseph Gregory Hallett has a stone that has a iron pin in it that you put a chain through, ready to be enslaved again. My stone is of quartz, golden sand, iron, mud. Las Cruces, Jess Cruces. There are things about language that y'all will probably not be able to comprehend, but I can show you because it's art. And the faces you see, and the sequences, and the similarities, and the patterns that come through your subconscious when you're thinking is inspiration from God. So, The reason they took away writing and stopped funding art was to stop my ability to free the world using the holy art. Joke's on them. It's all art. Pronunciation, letters, similarities, sequences, abbreviations, commas, punctuation. There's code that he left for me to see, and I am grateful for it. Where's it at? Did I have it in here? I can also prove I am where I am because of the constellations of the rabbit, the holy white hare, and the air that's also a throne in God's chair. I can show you how Orion's belt, the constellation, flips and it turns into the prophecy of the man pouring water into the mountains. I can show you times, locations. There's a reason Joseph Gregory Hallett was sending Mahoney to all these locations. They were following my family's trail. It's hard when you know that you're walking in another man's shoes and how he would be ridiculed and rejected. Teaching the same way that I always have by showing. Don't be quick to judge because you never know. So I don't judge, but I do get judged and attacked by ignorant people who do not understand or have the ability to see that they have been given a slave education. And to mentally heal the blind and evolve them to see Creator, to understand that way people will quit being taken advantage of. It's crazy how people can be trained by the CIA and admit it openly in their interviews. And I've been trained in 5 years or less, but my whole life by my Father, God, Creator. My name, Urias, is the light of Jehovah. James. I see the black and white alphabet and can teach. I see the errors of lazy and corrupt men that have riddled our documentations for centuries and can correct it. But the question is, do y'all want it corrected? Or are y'all too busy fighting amongst yourselves? The things I get attacked with, the things that I can see. Did you know that Jesus also referred to himself in the third party, the Son of Man? You must be a son of man and be made of flesh in order to be the Son of God. Because it is the Spirit, the soul that inhabits this vessel, that has lived forever. There are things that I wouldn't understand. Y'all have been fine tuned and sharpened to combat God unknowingly. Ask yourself this question: when was the last time you held these same standards to these politicians or so called flatline rule bloodlines? You hold such a standard to God because you yourself are scared to read that book because you don't know how. All it takes is you opening it. No one but the Son of God will be able to show you the way to Him, because the only way through to God is through the Son. But I don't tell you how to find Him. I tell you to go searching for Him, because that's your job. I can just show you how I see Him. I can show you how He uses me and the things that I see. If you only knew how I've been attacked, and yet I am still here pushing forward, spoken at council. I've been marked, set up, incarcerated. I've been made a criminal in my own way. And that's what's sad. Is that none of y'all will ever know unless it happens to you. I know who I am, Carrie. I'm asking the world to see me for me. And I give everyone the same start to see what kind of person that you are and where I need to start in trying to help. Because I am here to help. I'm here to correct what others did not. I use Da Vinci, the Noel. The name backwards is Noel. Divine I see. Check it. This and these anomalies that happen to me when I speak of light and fluctuation of the pixels and is nothing new to me. But for the ones who don't understand, they will discredit me based on false accusations and fake truths. They'll crucify me with their ignorance, because that's what they do. When we as humans cannot listen to one another on an intellectual level to try to come up with a solution that is better than the one that we have without using violence, then we're not human. We're wicked. And it's time for my people to see. It's time for my people to know that me and God are dedicated to this. Because what some don't understand and never will, because it's not their time. You can take your horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I am talking very soft, I'm sorry. Tonality. King Arthur and the sword and the stone. No, there's King Arthur in the words and the tones. Thank you, honey. I love how you're always there for me. Has anybody asked these questions? Because you are allowed to ask. You would make God jump through hoops to prove that He is who He is for you, but will not make these individuals who claim to have control and power to the same standards. Your perception is broken. You only know how to spell when there is more. A true education, you're taught orthography, which is coding sequences, shorthand abbreviation. What it can be made to be will be. You can read left to right because it was ciphered right to left. You can read up and down to up, multi-directionally because of the way they cipher. Don't gaslight me based on an education system and false entitlement on nothing you know being the truth. Sit down, get to know me, talk to me, hear me. Let me show you. Because what we have right now is unacceptable. And me becoming a father and having everything taken from me, almost dying, made me the man that I am today. If you're in Portugal, would you go visit my family's town, K.Urias? Please, Carrie. See, the Crusades weren't just to find a holy land, because all land is holy, because God created it. But there is one piece of land more holy than the rest. And that's what He had left for His Son. The code that is in Scripture, manuscripts, Arabic, Latin, Spanish, English, Egyptian hieroglyphs, which also have English letters. You have to know where we come from in order to know where we can go. And the sky is the limit. We were star people. Until the ones that could not do what I can do got jealous and tried eradicating our whole family because they were scared of losing their power. And if you see Joseph again, tell him James will always be coming before Joseph. James was his brother. Save James, the Lord's brother. Well, I am James. And the key I teach, because you are I. We are islands, made to believe that we're something that we're not. An island's definition is a body of land surrounded by water. Are we not all surrounded by water? Made by fictitious invisible lines and force of incarceration and separation through others' beliefs. The definition of border is any natural God made divide, being mountain, valley, river, that would separate one from another. Las Cruces, New Mexico, and El Paso, Texas. It's funny how we're in a bowl all the way to Schwallen Desert. White sands are on the other side. You can't have military in God's city. That's why there's none here. But there is corrupt politics, as there is everywhere. And yet no one can see that it'll continue to be corrupt as long as y'all are blind to the fact that you are controlled by a concept, an idea that was created to enslave you with shiny things that you do not need and cannot take with you when you leave. It's a hard pill to swallow, seeing one's true reflection. It's crazy. Would have never guessed in a million years. They tried killing me and bringing me back from the dead. I was born James K.Urias, August 27th, 1984, St. David's Hospital, Austin, Texas. They killed me, James Keith, in 2009, is what is on the headstone in my hometown where my mother and father are buried. And then my name switched from James Keith Urias to Urias James Keith. Trying to hide the fact that I've been given a gift from God, and that gift was the name of his son. But see, where the other people and other false prophets and teachers fall short is the fact that they can't teach. They have to be in control. They can't listen and listen to every single one. I teach to every single one because that is how it should be done. You can't teach one lesson to a group and expect them to all be on the same page. That is communism. Conform or else. Well, then show me what else is, because this is blasphemy to God. This is not liberty. This is not freedom. This is the resurrection of teachings, of lessons through coincidence. The 12 candles that were lit, the Constitution to be created, and the wish that was made when it was blown out. The wish that Jesus would return. has been granted, and it is the people who deny me because of the government that was created for them to be free by believers who knew that I would return. And that's why art is on the Constitution. 12 candles representing the 12 disciples I had, the king and queen, the holy bloodline. The same thing that happened to be created for the original can happen again, and has happened. Through old Jerusalem, in the Mediterranean Sea, the family had escaped. Whoever they crucified or whatever happened, I don't know. But I know that they robbed us. They stole us of our inheritance and everything that we owned. And then brainwashed our people to believe that God could or could not possibly be real. Well, believe me, heaven and hell is real. There are other sides, other dimensions, other realms. It is infinitely. So Joseph Gregory Hallett can say that he knows the secrets of the Shim who have been transporting and trafficking children and been in control of the pedophilia in the UK all you want. But you're missing the bigger picture. He's been in control, he says. So he could have stopped it at any moment, but chose not to. He has sinned and is not worthy to be king, chosen by Father. To know the secret of the brothers, portraits of Jesus and James, one depicted in red, one depicted in blue, and through the sketches in books, because all books are of God, documenting our time on this, in this existence. The first page, the prophecy of the name Leviticus. Leave it, I see the US, I see blessed us, the phoenix, which thought to be dead, emerges from the ashes, in the new world, the new Jerusalem, JER, USA, LEM. What a coincidence. There is no such thing. You cannot say coincidence and believe in God. It is part of God's plan. The ox, but the rat, caught a ride, sailed from the family tree of the ox, the phoenix, to the new world, and more. To understand, you'd have to dedicate some time to listen, which 95% of you can't do because of your selfishness. See, the Native Americans knew that this was underwater. They have stories of it. Vika is my title. North, south, east, west. There is no woe is me when I own all mountains, all land, all sea, all air, by God's glory. Now this is where you find out who you are, because to tell me I am wrong, well, is to tell me I'm wrong. But what evidence do you have that I'm wrong? When I can prove in more than 1,000 ways that I am right in every way. God has blessed me. And it is you, the people, with your so called intelligence, your false knowledge. Most can't even see that we are not united, that we are divided. How are we united when all we do is argue amongst ourselves? Leonardo da Vinci's paintings of the Virgin Mary and the Holy Child, or of the mountains here, Las Cruces, and the surrounding areas. This is one of the places where it all began. The mountain of the morning star. Then the kings of Orion are the kings of Orion, Orion's belt. King James, King Urias, and King Jesus, all in my name. James Christ, because of the white C that is attached to the K. Oh, it gets real. But until next time, talk to you later.